advancement have proven to be helpful, they also pose a threat to originality and intellectual exercises, and considered to be a disrespect of and lead to the theft of human art and creative output. Yuval Noah Harari puts it as the biggest challenge of the AI age was not the creation of intelligent tools, but striking a collaboration between humans and machines. Our reflection this evening at Tracy, which we are also facilitating through a technology which is an advancement as well, that is the Zoom platform, considered this discussion to be trending as well as very important. Important that even as we understand that it has been accepted, it is also important that we as Christians cultivate a way of thinking and looking at these advanced innovations, probing into the implications that they might have, that they will possibly have in our lives. And so this evening we are very honored to have with us Dr. Philemon Daniel with us. He is an assistant professor at the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at the National Institute of Technology, Hamirpur. He has finished his Bachelor of Engineering in the same subject from JJC Tricky, and went on to do his MTech in VLSI Design from the Vellore Institute of Technology, and has received his PhD from NIT Hamirpur, where he is currently teaching. And Dr. Daniel's areas of expertise lies on areas of machine learning, natural language understanding, and deep learning architectures for VLSI tests. He has contributed immensely to the field of deep learning, machine translation, coding, and AI, and has contributed to a number of articles, some of which have even been cited more than 80 times. And so thank you, Professor, so much for accepting our invitation. We look forward to discussing and learning more about this topic with you. The time is now yours.
All right, thank you. So, okay. So this is the topic given to me: implications of AI's expanding terrain. So I'm not sure how many of you know what is AI and have done something with AI. So let's go through this presentation. I think it should take about 45 minutes, and then we can discuss whatever questions you might have. So I'm assuming that you know something about AI. If you don't know anything, you can go to my YouTube channel. You can search at the rate Phildani7, and there are two talks. One very basic on AI for those who do not know anything about AI from a non-technical field. You can understand what is AI through that, right? So you can watch that, but I'm not going to spend much time explaining what is AI. But we're going to, I think the task given to me was to discuss more of the challenges and how do we handle it as Christians, right? Okay, so before we jump in, I would like to take 2 slides to explain what we are doing as a family. So we started something called Garden for Christ, and we have bi-monthly book series, we call it. Earlier we were calling it magazines, Socho Kids. So if you would like, kids between 7 to 14 years, you can gift it to them or subscribe for this. So our idea is to bridge the gap between science and God. So there are lots of Bible stories, lots of material that kids can get to read about the Bible. There are lots of material kids get to read about science, but there is not much content bridging these two. Education in the first place came into existence because God has created a orderly universe, and we study things to discover God, right? So that's the whole purpose. So that's our idea of bridging these two fields together. So we have finished a lot of topics like light, design, taste, time, water, brain, color, sound. June's issue was AI. And the next issue is going to be magnets. So we have a theme song going along with it, and we have lots of content. The AI edition was about 64 pages, right? So we also have a YouTube channel at the rate Garden for Christ. You can just search for that. And one more thing I would like to introduce, that's a weekly color and draw Bible study for kids. It happens over Zoom. So we take a passage and we draw and discuss and learn things about God and uh, what is good for us, what is not good for us. A very simple way and a nice, interesting way. So we were doing it for our kids, and then we open it up for other kids. We've almost done 100 studies over 2 years now, parables, John's Gospel, lots of science topics, and questions. Now we are doing Ecclesiastes, the book of Ecclesiastes. All right. Okay. So my background. So the moderator already explained a bit. So I'll just add a few more points. So I have also guided two PhD students explicitly on language models like the one that ChatGPT is using. And we've also worked on generative applications where we generate new content, new models. So they are based on autoencoders. If you have some idea, you would understand what I'm talking about. So these two things have exploded big time in the recent years. Language models and generative applications. So that's the current trend, and I worked on both of them. And I should say AI transformation I was waiting for is finally here. So during COVID time, it was pretty disappointing that AI couldn't help much. But after that, it's picking up big time, and we are seeing some useful stuff. Right. So I want to say AI is no longer a hype. So AI is the term AI is being used for over 50 years, and it has not been very helpful for the past several decades. But now it is super helpful. Jeffrey Hinton said something like this: it's as if you had 10,000 people, and whenever one person learned something, everybody automatically knew it. And that's how these chatbots can know so much that than any one person. It takes away drudge work. So it's like a complex network of people learning things together and at the same time syncing with each other, and making huge progress every day. So AI's growth is something like this. As if in 1980 is the year I was born. So in 1980, if somebody gives me a 5G smartphone, how would I handle it? So that's the kind of growth we are looking at. Suddenly, overnight, things are happening. Yesterday, I saw a new generative image model has come up, which is super good. So the quality is crisp and clear, and it's generating awesome 3D models. So AI is everywhere already. So the past decade, AI has gone into our everyday lives. Siri, Alexa, Google Home, YouTube recommendations, Facebook, Instagram, Grammarly, self-driving cars, lane assist. Zoom has multiple things. Avatars is something cool. So our kids love avatars, digital marketing. So people are saying AI is the new electricity. It's going to power everything. It's going to be the base, the fundamental for everything to make progress in the future. That's how we're looking at. There are quite a good number of fields that AI has impacted: jobs, especially education, healthcare, transportation, finance, so retail, art, and design. So probably these are major categories where AI has had the maximum impact. And then sports analytics, we do a lot of calculations and analysis and what's the best shot. I was watching tennis, and the kind of analytics that people are presenting to players these days are uh, so it's very sophisticated. Agriculture, entertainment, marketing, cybersecurity, human resource, media, journalism, energy, legal, e-commerce, biotech, social media, manufacturing, etc., etc. Right. So I put a hammer at the corner for the reason that hammer, is it good or bad? We can't say, based on how you use it. So AI is also like that. It has both positive use cases and not so good use cases. So we'll take it up. Okay, what is intelligence? So we are talking about artificial intelligence. We should know what is intelligence. When we say intelligence, what are we talking about? So we are talking about the ability to reason, analyze something, plan, make, say, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, or immediately draw flow chart, solve problems. There is a problem, so how do we get around it? Think abstractly, comprehend complex ideas, learn from experience, common sense, learn quickly. These are some things that are attributed to intelligence. Now, artificially creating all this is what we call as artificial intelligence. Now, God has created us, and God has blessed us with all these abilities in a natural way, and we are born with it, and we build over it uh, as we grow up in life and as we get experience in life. But artificially building this is what we call as artificial intelligence. Now, what is AI? Just a few slides to quickly um, help you understand. So AI is a complex network, and there is a set of inputs. Now I've shown you only one input. Now it could have a large set of inputs. Okay, so it could have 1,000 inputs, even 1 lakh inputs, 1 crore inputs. It could have large amount of inputs. But just for simplicity, you give an input, and this particular model tells you what this picture is about. Is this a horizontal line or a standing line or a square? What it is. So you can classify this. So you see there is a strengthening of the network on this side, which ultimately predicts that it is a sleeping line. It is a horizontal line. So that's how you look at it. You look at it as a large cluster of nodes. Um, these are all numbers, and numbers multiplied with other numbers. We call them hidden layers. And from input side to the output side, it forms a relationship between the input set of inputs and the set of outputs we have. And this relationship is what we call as understanding. In our human brain, we kind of form an understanding between several things. So we see a cat has a tail, 2 eyes, etc. So like that, the neural network forms an understanding. Okay, so if we look at face recognition, um, AI programs, so in the first few layers, it will form lines, standing lines, sleeping lines, cross lines. In the hidden layer, it will put together and form small features like eyes, nose, ear, etc. And the consecutive layers, it will put them together, put the eyes and ears and mouth together to form facial features. And that is how it manages to recognize people's faces. Yeah, this is a good puzzle for AI. Some of the AI models still fail in this, but yeah, so we are doing better. So you can ask yourself which is a puppy and which is a chicken nugget. Right. So why now? Why suddenly we are talking about AI since AI was there for decades? These three reasons would contribute to why AI is becoming very popular now. We have huge data. All of us are supplying data, whether you like it or not, through your phones, through your devices, through your activities. We are supplying data. And we have huge computers now. Our home computers are like the supercomputers of the past. And our current supercomputers are super fast. And we are talking about quantum computers that are going to come in the next 1 or 2 decades. And we have huge models. We are talking about 1 trillion connections. So our human brain is supposed to have 100 trillion connections, but we have models that are having 1 trillion connections. So just about 1% of our human brain. We're making big progress. Okay, what is not AI? Now, AI is not a software program. Okay, so software program has many differences, and a software program is explicitly written, but AI is not explicitly written. Few differences I'll just read out for you. So in software program, we give few inputs, or there are few conditions, but in AI, we can give unlimited inputs, theoretically speaking, and unlimited relationships. So in software program, you will write, if this is true, then do this, else do that. Okay, so but in AI, you can have if. So you don't say if, you just give the inputs and ask the AI model to learn from it. And it might learn lots of complex relationships that you are not even aware of, right? Okay, so software program is has well-defined problems. It has known solutions. It is rule-based. So if you see a self-driving car, and if you write a software program for that, you look at the lane and say, don't cross the lane. Detect the lane and don't cross the lane. But an AI program, you will just drive the car, say this is the right way to drive. And AI will always learn, okay, you're never crossing the lane. Okay, so that kind of learning it'll acquire. Okay, software is always structured with limited data. AI is most of the time it's unstructured and with unlimited data. The more data you supply, the more it's going to learn. Software cannot handle unlimited data. It can handle only limited data. And software programs cannot adapt, strictly speaking. It cannot adapt. It cannot learn from experience. AI can adapt, and AI can adapt in the sense it can adjust to new scenarios. So if today you're driving on a good road, tomorrow you get into a dirt road, you can use the same AI model and train it for a dirt road. But software doesn't work that way. You have to rewrite your image processing model. And software programs, the accuracy is limited to the rules you come up with. You come up with good rules, and your accuracy will be that good. But AI, today, if the accuracy is certain, say 90%, tomorrow you can improve the accuracy. The more you drive, the more data you supply, the accuracy will improve. There is a theoretical limit to it, but it will continue to improve. And software program, I would say it is based on common sense, meaning we give rules. We say, don't cross this, don't do this, So, but AI may lack common sense. It would behave very well for many cases, but simple things that we expect it to understand, it wouldn't have got it, because that relationship maybe it hasn't learned yet. That link it hasn't learned yet. That is possible. No, so it may lack common sense. Okay, what is AI good at? So some things I've listed. So these are some things that are very well established. For images, for example, they're very good. AI is very good in detecting, generation, tracking. It's very good. Text, translation, generation, reasoning. Where we have large amount of text, say for example, English language, it has become very good. Languages with similar word order, it is still very good. Translation is very good. It's getting better at other languages, and reasoning is very good. It's becoming very reliable these days. Okay, generation of combinations. So you can ask AI models to mix and match. There's a website called ClipDrop. You can go and try it. It's free to try. You can generate wonderful images. You can describe what exactly you want, and you can generate, images. That is kind of a mix and match, a pink elephant flying with a parachute, so it'll generate it for you. Okay. Data-based decision making. So decision making AI is becoming very good. You give lots of data and you say this is good, this is bad, it'll learn from it. Okay. Reasoning software is looked at as text itself, and any routine, any sequence, wherever there is a fixed routine in place or sequence in place, AI is getting better at it. Healthcare is some place that it's getting very good and getting better than doctors in analyzing images, analyzing data, and coming up with good inference. Yeah, so if you look at jobs, I'll just zoom in here. So all the highly repetitive jobs and less complex jobs, AI can do very well. In fact, that can be easily done by programming, but all the repetitive jobs, AI is getting better. And even highly complex jobs that are highly repetitive, AI is getting better. There is still a narrow space left for us, which are not repetitive, but highly complex, that humans will be required still. Okay. So AI is getting better at clearing exams. This is an Amazon exam interview that AI cleared with 100% score, and it took just 3 minutes and 59 seconds. The time allotted is 2 hours, but it just finished in less than 4 minutes. And this is there's a website called LeetCode, where software training programs for training yourself are available. So there are different levels: easy, medium, hard. So AI is able to crack some hard code also, and give the right answers. And it's easily cracking easy level, and it's getting better at it. AI also, ChatGPT also cleared UPSC exam. So they are getting better in many things, and they will continue to get better. But there are some limitations. So these limitations will stand, however bigger models we have, however we improve, unless we put a software framework around it. So AI alone will have limitations. So that's what people are doing, trying to put a software package around AI and filter it out. Okay. So these are some limitations. It confuses fiction as facts. So it will give something very convincingly, but it could be false. It will confidently present wrong answers. It could lack common sense and understanding. So a small child would understand something. So if something is hot, you teach a child not to go and touch, it wouldn't touch, but AI wouldn't get it. So there is no moral or ethical judgment available within AI. That is what is learned from data. There is always a bias in AI algorithms. There are several levels, and in different ways we can see bias. It's there because of the bias in the data that is fed to it. There is dependence on data and quality of data. If you teach a small child that a cat looks like this, a 1-year-old child, a cat looks like this, so look at a cat, and tomorrow if the child sees a cat, the child will immediately identify that it's a cat. But AI models are not like that. It has to see cats from all different directions, all different colors, shapes, sizes, and only then it'll try to slowly figure out that it is a cat. And quality of data is also important. Okay, so those are limitations, but what challenges we have? So these are some challenges that I would like to list. So there could be more. There are more. I have a lot more ideas, a lot more in my notes, but I put the important ones that we should really be concerned about. So job displacement is one. So I'm in charge for placements in my college, but we are slowly hearing some companies who have offered jobs are taking back, so they don't want to go ahead with the offer anymore. So that's going to happen. So we're going to see some jobs disappearing. So we have to deal with it. Privacy and security issues. All of our data is, whether we know it or not, is being captured real time. So a lot of things we give consent without our knowledge, and from our mobile phones, from whatever we do, um, bias and discrimination. So that's a major area that people are struggling to deal with. We don't know. We don't have answers. We don't have easy answers. Lack of accountability is one thing. So say, for example, a self-driving car has an accident. Who's responsible? Uh, um, there is a big debate in who is responsible. There is no driver. It's the car who uh, met with an accident. So depersonalization. Um, so people are not required in doing things. So for example, counseling someone with special needs, or counseling a normal person. So we can have a chatbot to automate the entire counseling process. So, but is it good? Is it good to remove the person from the counseling process? There are questions we should ask. Filter bubbles and echo chambers. So say, for example, we even Facebook, or Instagram, when we see a certain thing for a longer period of time, Facebook builds an algorithm, Instagram builds an algorithm, and shows similar kind of content for us. So we don't get to see lots of other kinds of content, because only a particular kind of content is directed towards us. So we live in small bubbles. We don't get to experience many things around. Deep fakes is a big problem. So we no longer know what is true and what is false. It's very hard to find out. So even if the president of the United States is speaking in a video, we do not know if it is created or if it is real. Lack of understanding of how AI does what it does. So we have no clue why AI is coming up with some decision. So it's still a black box. This is something that people are much worried about, because we have no clue and no control over what AI is doing and how it is doing. It just does. It does it, right? So that's why we put a software block around it and build a common sense model or a physics model. So and limit it. When it gives something absurd, we try to limit it. Okay, is AI a threat? Okay, so few points I noted down. These could be interesting. Those who love sci-fi movies, you might like some of these points, but yeah, everything is debatable. I'll share my points and leave it to you. So the first foremost threat is self-copying and self-rewriting AI models. They are not there yet, but it is theoretically possible to have such an AI model. So we have lots of devices at home, lots of devices everywhere, and everything will have an AI model, and everything will interact with everything else, and everything will be internet hooked, and everything will start communicating with everything else. That's the kind of world we're going to live in the future. We are already kind of living in, but we will increasingly live like that. And so we will automize everything. Everything will take decisions on its own. There is a certain level of autonomy we give to these models. And so they could, take decisions on their own, copy themselves, move around, rewrite themselves. That's theoretically possible. We are not there yet, but it's possible. Will AI destroy human beings? This is a question people keep raising. No, no answer for that. Some people have asked AI models, and it has answered yes, if required. Um, Human beings may not be required in the pipeline for it to do things. So it's still speculation, but yeah, it could reach a level where it could decide that human beings are not required anymore. So okay, so some more interesting points I thought I'll add in this list. People are talking about solving death. Um, that's something very interesting, but at the same time very scary. Uh, People are talking about transferring software into a new hardware, meaning this body, they're calling it as hardware, and they will transfer brain or consciousness into another body, and people will live on. So with a lot of help from AI. So these are some scary thoughts. And how do we look at this as a Christian? Yeah, so we'll discuss that. Okay, so fix human happiness. There are short fixes, quick fixes for human happiness. So they're trying to figure out, okay, what makes a human happy? Okay, so these are the things that makes human beings happy. So give that, supply that. So a human being, you know, remains happy most of the time, at least. Mm. So Neuralink is coming up. It's a reality now. Brain and computer interface. It's a two-way communication. It's no longer one way. We don't just read from the brain, but we can also put things into the brain, and the brain acquires knowledge, acquires wisdom from external sources. So that's becoming a reality now. Um, Again, so how far can we stretch this? So that's something that we need to ask. There are things like Ask Rewind, Virtual Me, which creates a virtual person that so I can continue to exist even after my death. I will continue to respond to emails, blog posts, post my photos, you know, continue to exist even after I leave planet Earth. Okay, so I thought of this verse. I thought I'm not going to cite many verses, but this one verse I thought I should cite. So we are going back to kind of one language, the Babel moment. Genesis 11:6. The Lord said, if as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Are we in this kind of moment? I think so. I think we are in a huge moment where things are coming together like anything, and we are capable of doing wonderful things, um, for good and some for bad. So, yeah. So, just a few more minutes I'll take. As a Christian, how can we respond? So, a few points. Many people have worked on it. So, I picked up some points from here and there, added my own points. And yeah, these are not exhaustive, but this will help us to start off. But yeah, we should think through all this further. Right. So before we jump into the points I have, I thought I should say this. I'm having big faith in AI to discover God better. No, I should say that. Okay. Why? Because every concept that exists is related. Um, so everything that God has created is related with each other and with God Himself, right? So through everything that exists, we should be able to discover God better. So I think we just not have found the relationship between each of them. So for example, physics or chemistry or biology, we think these are distinct fields, but they're not. They're all related. And often we are not aware of the relationship between them. So I think AI models can help us discover patterns and connections between a lot of things that we have overlooked, we think are not related, right? So I'm guessing the whys and hows will become much clearer. Now, say for example, what is gravity and what is time? So these are big questions that um, they're very related. And what is the relationship? And how do we go about understanding these concepts and understanding God Himself through these words, through these common words that we use? So I think the whys and hows are going to be very important, and I trust that these AI models will bring this to light for us. And that's going to help us discover God much better and fall in love with Him much more in a more stronger, in a more passionate way. So people who love discovering things, I think this is the age for us to use AI to discover new insights um, about the world that God has created, and in turn, God Himself. So knowing God is the main pursuit. Education aids that purpose. And I was chatting with this AI model, and ChatGPT gave me the statement. I thought I should read this. The development of AI allows humans to explore and understand the complexities of the world in new ways, deepening our appreciation for the intricacies of God's creation and the intelligence that underlies it. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so as a Christian, there are a few things that are fundamental. So I wrote them as points. I'll just read it out for you. So being human is primary. Humans are unique and valuable because God made us in His image. Technology is cool, but it shouldn't take over the special role that humans have. And definitely, technology shouldn't be treated like it's a human or has the same value as human. Technology should be given its place, and human beings as the ultimate creation of God, right? Okay, AI is a creation of humans. AI shows how creative humans can be. When we use AI for good stuff and in line with what God wants, it's like we are putting our God given creativity to good use. But AI is just a tool. It can't replace the love and forgiveness that Jesus offers. AI shouldn't be used in ways that make people feel less valuable or important, right? So, okay. Third point, AI in helping humans make decisions. AI can help us make decisions by processing lots of data, but it's important to remember that AI doesn't have morals. Humans have to take responsibility for those decisions. Okay, I still don't know how all these are going to happen, but I think this is how this is the direction we should look at. AI in medicine. AI can make healthcare better, which is a good thing, but only Jesus can ultimately overcome death and sickness. We should use AI to help people, not just for making money or becoming superhumans or even defeat death. Okay, fifth point, AI and bias. AI can have biases because it's made by humans who have biases. We should work to minimize these biases and make sure AI respects everyone equally. AI can even be used to spot and reduce human biases. I'm turning the table. So I'm saying we can use the same AI to spot the biases. That's possible. Right? Okay, so AI and sexuality. God has a design for relationships and sexuality, which is between a man and a woman in marriage. AI shouldn't be used for sexual purposes, and in ways that objectify people. Um, there are models which you know people are using it for absurd reasons. Um, so yeah, so this has to be added. This is also important. Yeah, AI and work is part of God's plan for humans to take care of the world. AI can help us work better and focus on things we are good at. But if AI takes over some of our jobs, we should help those who are affected and encourage ways to develop new skills. Point 8, AI, data, and privacy. Our privacy is important and shouldn't be violated by anyone using AI. AI shouldn't be used to manipulate or control people through their data. Okay, last 2 points. AI and security. AI can be used for keeping people safe and enforcing justice, but it shouldn't be used to harm or take away rights from people. There is a country which is monitoring people so closely that they are, even keeping a score for each person, and linking a lot of their activities based on AI models. Okay, 10. The future of AI. AI will keep getting better, but it will never be as valuable as human beings. We don't know what the future holds, but we shouldn't be scared because we believe that God is in control. That's something we should still remember, that God is still in control. This is my last slide. As a reminder for all of us, I started by talking about intelligence. Now I should end with this slide, that artificial intelligence stays artificially intelligent, right? So human intelligence is special. So I'll just read out some of the differences. We have intention, we have emotion, we have passion. Artificial intelligence, at best, it acts like human. We are good in strategic planning and critical thinking. AI models not good at planning and critical thinking. Um, of course, it's some of these are debatable, but I'm talking at the core. These AI models are not good at planning and not good at critical thinking. Given something new, a new scenario, they will definitely not know how to handle. Okay, human intelligence, we are very good in design, very good in creativity. We hope we retain those skills. AI, it uses seen elements, it uses what it has already seen. It cannot come up with something that it has never seen, but human beings can. We have common sense. We understand things. We recognize things, but AI models lack common sense. We learn quickly with few examples. As I said, a 1-year-old child can understand what is a cat by looking at it once, but AI models need large data, large resources. Human intelligence, we learn and we can switch context. We can adapt. We've learned something. Say, for example, we know to ride a cycle, and we can quickly adapt it to learn a scooty. So but AI models are poor in transfer learning. So you train them on one thing, and you have to train them again on another context. They can't just switch context. We have meaning and we have the sense of right and wrong, but AI models don't have any meaning, and they don't have a sense of right and wrong. And last, but the most important, we have a relationship with God and fellow humans. That's wonderful. Uh, we have a very good relationship with fellow humans. And for AI, everything is a set of numbers and nothing more. So that's it. Thank you. So if you are actively involved in this AI field, I would like you to send a mail and we can stay in touch. We can um, chat together and make progress together. Yeah, but otherwise you're free to ask questions, anything you might have. Over to the moderator.
Thank you so much, sir, for that insightful session on AI and the implications that it can have going forward in our lives. I failed to mention that we will have a discussion session in the beginning of our program. You finished on time, and now we have 30 minutes that will be available for the participants to discuss and even put forward questions that they have. And then if you can respond to those questions as well. Perhaps I will start off this questioning session and mention AI lies on coding and regulations that it is fed. And so human input seems to be central to the functioning of AI. In this regard, the limitations that we see in AI are therefore a limitation of the human input. Right. So how, what kind of regulations do you have in check regarding human input itself?
Yeah, the data that people use to train is the data that is available on the internet and other sources like Wikipedia and other volumes, books, and etc. But yeah, so there are a lot of inconsistencies and biases. Yeah, what people are now trying to do is train on those AI, train on those data sets, and then put a software framework around it, maybe multiple layers, and check it before they display it. Say, for example, ChatGPT is doing that. They have around 6 layers or something like that to check the output that AI is giving us. No, so they're not just directly showing what the output is, what the AI model is giving us output. They are rechecking it, giving it back to the AI model, getting it corrected, reviewing it. Is it positive in nature? ChatGPT, for example, is very positive. It never says anything negative, So they try to put multiple layers of software around it to check it at many levels. Yeah, so that's how we have currently managed to, that's the workaround we have. But at the data set itself, it's difficult because then we have to generate good data sets that are really unbiased, which is hard, currently hard.
I would like to ask questions, please. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
Yes, Juliana, am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Go ahead.
Firstly, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel, for such an insightful and eye-opening session that you have done on the topic AI. And in fact, AI is, I would say, is one of the hottest topic right now in the current generation. Based on the discussion, based on the presentations that we just had, I have a couple of questions. I hope, I do justice to the effort that you have given. In the presentations, you mentioned about ChatGPT. So just say observation that I had in my workplace. So I have this friend. So whenever there is any work that has been assigned to her, she has this habit of using ChatGPT. So even for making a poem, she will use ChatGPT. For making a research proposal, she used ChatGPT. For making a presentation or document anything, she just rely on ChatGPT. So as I was trying to understand why whenever she has anything, why she is so dependent on ChatGPT. This was one thing. And, I felt like somehow the technology is somehow controlling our human mind, in the sense that there is a lack of originality and creativities, where it has some implications on the scholarship, for example. So instead of using her own creativity or her own original mind, but she is rather dependent on the ChatGPT. What does the ChatGPT is telling? So don't you think that, yes, in your last presentation, you have said that as a Christian, we are not supposed to use all this AI tool that something control us. But as a human, I think we are now, if we really observe the present generations, we are highly dependent on technology. For example, even the basic example is smartphone, like how we are dependent on it. In the same way, even for using our human intelligence, now we are dependent on artificial intelligence. So there is a lack of originality and creativity on how we deal with our work. So this is the first thing. So that my observation. Secondly is I think you have mentioned about discovering God with AI. Okay, so I mean, I'm sorry, with due respect, beg to differ in the sense that I have come across one news channel in which the church, the pastor was like AI. It was like AI robot who was preaching. So based on that church, after the end of the service, when the interview happened, the group, they say that, yes, the message was delivered, but there is a lack of heart and soul in it. Like you don't feel connected. It's like we are just listening to a robot speaking to us. Yes, the robot may be speaking rightly, but still then the essence of being the connectivities between what you say, between the message and the word is really lacking there. Now my question is, yes, AI has been created by human, but then don't you think that we humans are now controlled by the technology? Doesn't it really put us at risk of, even if we say that we're using it, but we see that most of us at this current generations, how we became so dependent on technology. Now technology seems to control us rather than we are controlling. So don't you think that there should be some kind of check or some kind of policing or regulations we need to have on all this too, especially stronger AI tools like ChatGPT, in which it really borders the academic scholarship as well? I'm sorry, that is a long question.
Right. So yeah, okay. So let me ask you a question. So when calculators came in, we had a similar fear, right? So we had, okay, so we would lose our knowledge of tables, and knowledge, people who are skilled with remembering tables were not so appreciated anymore because we had calculators, and we are now comfortable with calculators. We've gone across the stage where we no longer say, oh, calculators are bad, so you still have to use pen and paper, yeah. So we should know how to do things, and there is a I think yeah, as you said, I also have the habit of going to ChatGPT often, so because we love what it is able to give. So there is a line, so there is a creative boundary that we have to maintain, and we continue to work on our creative skills. And there are times when we use ChatGPT to speed up our process or to create something new. Or I have written the first draft. So for this presentation, for example, I wrote my points and I went to ChatGPT to add, edit, think through differently. I got some more points from ChatGPT. So something like that. So we have to have a balanced life. Is it easy? No, because we are already struggling with smartphones. So when AI models come and when they become more common, we will have more struggle. So that's a personal, conscious decision that each of us have to make, and how much of technology we use for what, and is it really killing my skills or is it enhancing my skills? So for each of us it could differ. For some of us it could be poems, for some of us it could be software code, for some of us it could be other things. So each of us have to measure and come up with what is good for me, what is not good for me, where is my limit, personal limit, and So we can't say give a common boundary for everyone. Like smartphones, for example, some of us use smartphones very well to our advantage. Some of us use it, you know, for all wrong purposes. So yeah, it's a personal decision we have to take. And for your second question, I'm not talking about that kind of model where ChatGPT leads a sermon. I'm not talking about that. Of course, that sounds very absurd, but yeah, we will see things like that happening. But I'm talking about finding relationships between the created world, finding relationships between concepts. Say, for example, fractals and fractions. So things like that. So once we our whole purpose of education is that to understand relationships, to understand the depth of things. So some things are not visible to us. No, so AI models can bring that to light. That is what I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about eliminating humans. I'm talking about humans using AI models to dig deep and understand insights, have new insights to the world that God has created, and in turn appreciate who God is, right?
I have a question. I am Lata Christie here. People say that after a few years, AI will surpass human intelligence, where we reach singularity and AI can design itself, and we cannot even predict the future, what happens. So in such a Elon Musk and even Stephen Hawking says that at that time, the world would be facing danger. So because it surpasses human intelligence, and if you have given gun to a killer robot, it can go and kill people. So in such a world like that, where people try to upload their brain thoughts to a cloud. So how, when a world is moving towards such a thing, how do we respond biblically, theologically? And also, how do we evangelize in a world that goes towards that way?
Yeah, I don't have all the answers because we don't know the future. So one thing others are talking about is slowing down things, slowing down development. So again, that is not in our hands. No, so we are common people, but there are big corporates who take those decisions, and it's now a big race. Everybody's trying to do better, and overnight people are coming up with new things. So it's going to happen, and theoretically that is possible. We usually see things in sci-fi movies, and then in a decade or two it comes into reality. Now it's going to happen faster. So how do we respond? I don't know it. The only thing we can continue to emphasize the basics, and continue to talk to people who are willing to listen. And there are people talking, and so we can also join hands with them. And yeah, we have to put guardrails, and people are talking about regulation. Again, regulation, would the government do a good job, or it would again, restricting development is also not a good thing. But yeah, we should go slow. But I think it is already going at a much faster pace than we can handle. So yeah, we don't have answers. Nobody in the world has answers. I've heard multiple forums. I've heard people speaking. We just don't have answers because these are too futuristic in nature, and it's very hard to imagine how things are going to be. So, but yeah, we are doing a good thing that we are talking about it, educating everybody, and getting everybody prepared, and slowly we will see how things go. So with our personal discipline, and slowly we will help our people around us. Then be aware. Yeah, we will make a slow influence. Yeah.
So thank you so much. And some people are even trying using AI for counseling, at least to get that. But AI will not be having the empathy and the human touch for counseling and ethics too, right? So, as church, how should we respond to some of the wrong uses of AI, which is used for many of the wrong things? As church together, should we raise a response to it, or how do we do that?
ChatGPT, for example, is a chatbot. We discussed with the chatbot. We are happy with it. So for the counseling side, if we can be explicit that it is an AI model that you're chatting with, I think if the person is okay with that, then I think it should be okay. We can put good guardrails around it, and we can guide the chatbot in a nice way. Of course, a human is always better, but not always a human is available. So I would recommend, I've recommended chatbots in some places. Even IISc Bangalore is also thinking on that lines because of a lot of people taking wrong decisions in their life during student days. So chatbots are helpful if in the first phase, maybe to get initial thinking going on and guide students or guide people in the right direction, and then maybe direct it to human beings. That should be possible. So these things we're going to see. People are already using chatbots for counseling, and we can build it rightly. We can build it the Christian way. That is possible. As I said, we build software models around it, so to guide it to respond correctly according to our ethics, our values. So we can do that. But yes, it cannot replace a human, but it can help where human is not available at odd times or overcrowded places. Chatbots can definitely help. Yeah. So I wouldn't rule that out, but at the same time, yeah, we can't substitute human beings with chatbots.
Thank you so much.
There are a few questions that have been posted on the chat box. John is asking, what software over AI to check? Can you suggest a few softwares?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, when I spoke about
are you clear of the question, Doctor? About the question?
Yeah, I think he's talking about, this is a question, follow-up question based on the software layers around ChatGPT, I think. So yeah, if you're asking if the software is readily available, there are open source models which you can take and build. LangChain has some open source frameworks which you can put around the chatbot and make it respond like how you would want it to respond. So if you're asking that, yeah, I can guide you to those open source frameworks. Yeah. Okay, I'll read the next question.
Yes, John here again.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Sorry, the question was same, like across the framework which you are putting. Now there are fake news and other things which is coming up. So how to identify, and which software can we put around, and we can track back and understand the things which is original and which is fake.
Human eyes are the best.
No.
Yeah, it's not possible. it's not possible. It's simply not possible.
Huh.
Fake things are as good as real, so it's simply not possible. We still don't have a way to differentiate. Somebody has to tag it as true or false, real or fake. Unless a human tags it, there is no way to know if it is real or fake. Yeah, even what is written by a chatbot, is it written by a chatbot or is it human written? All those models are again AI generated, so they are, yeah, somebody mentioned that. So we cannot depend on those models again, so they might tag a human written essay as AI written also. So we don't have anything that can detect fakes it.
Okay, but can you suggest a couple of softwares we can put around and help us out, like have some borderlines, like boundary fencing?
You're asking about text to detect if a text is written by chatbots?
Text and images.
Text, there are multiple things out there you can Google, but I wouldn't recommend anything, even not even Turnitin, which is supposed to be a decent model that has also come out flawed many times. So I wouldn't recommend anything at this point. We are still in the development phase, and so people are still working on it. We have not found a solution yet. I have not seen it yet, at least.
Okay, thanks. I'll be taking offline certain things. That's okay.
Yeah,
I
sure.
got
Sure.
your email.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Should
You
I?
can go ahead and read the next question, Doctor.
Sure. Okay. Milan is asking, as known, the main problem of self-learning and organizing like human has been solved as GPT upgraded to next version by itself. What will be the new field I have to see if I'm willing? Ongoing field with AI field. What shall be the new invention or invention? Okay, is left if I seek to go with AI innovation. Are you asking what would be the next innovation? Is that your question? Okay, so we are looking at narrow AI these days, or everything is narrow AI, meaning the image generation models are good in image generation, the text generation models are good in text generation, but we don't have a bridge yet. So the next generation would be general AI, we would call it, models that are doing very well in everything or many things. So from narrow AI to general AI, that would be the innovation in the coming years. And yeah, and even do things better. So say, for example, music, AI is able to generate music, but is it that good? Not it. So image, is it very good? Is it able to understand our text prompts? To some extent, but not very good. So improvements we will see, and also moving from narrow AI to general AI, right? Okay. Recently I came across a brother who created a new AI website for answering any questions based on the Bible. The website is this. Okay, I think that's not a question. Okay.
Janet has a question in the chat.
Right, yeah. So your last slide, which I think meant to emphasize the betterness of humans, mentions overall a lack of moral and ethical thinking in AI. Isn't that the danger of AI? Data in large quantities fed selectively can throw up confidence solutions, which can be dangerous with no ethical control. Correct. Yeah, there is a danger. Okay, what checks and balances can be built to minimize damage? So in the future, we can have a Christian model of ChatGPT. So we can put a framework around ChatGPT, and we can comfortably chat with that. And logos, like Logos has come up with, there is a Baptist version of Logos and a Methodist version of Logos. So maybe we would have a Baptist version of ChatGPT in the future, a Methodist version. So that is possible. So as I said, we can put a software framework around it, and we can have checks in place so that we don't go out of what we believe is true. Yeah, so that's possible, but not in the current future.
But technically, we cannot build anything into it, can we, Doctor?
Not into it. Yeah, around it we can. Yeah, so we usually keep the AI models as it is. Yes, we can fine tune the model to do better, but the data is still not so good, not as we would expect it to be. So the better way of overcoming that is to put a model around it, box it, and yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. There's one more question.
We have two more questions. You can take those two questions, and then we will ask Akishi to ask his question.
Okay, I'm curious to know where AI can be used in churches in near future. Not sure. I've had some good discussion with ChatGPT to understand, say for example, why did Abraham tell lies about Sarah? So AI gave some insights which I did not think of. So like that, you can extract some insights that to understand some insights, to think differently. So those AI models might think differently. Image generation can be something fantastic. So for kids in Sunday schools, you can generate wonderful images that can help kids imagine things. So say, for example, Jonah being swallowed by a whale, you can generate a beautiful image and show it to kids. So image generation can be something super productive. You can automate music, things like that. So yeah, in all the creative fields, we can use, so for our Socho Kids book series, we are using a lot of these AI models to speed up our work and to make it nice, look nice, design, come up with designs, so yeah. Okay. So one more question, I think. In your opinion, do production of AI have any impact on nature? Computers are being used, so there is a lot of electricity being used. So yes, there is. Yeah, there is some impact. Okay.
Hi, Dr. Daniel. Thank you so much for this extremely important talk. I just have one add-on and a question. So the circulation of AI has, I believe, really impacted human memory. And so this potential of human mind to actually be a reservoir of digits, of knowledge, and the ability to perform has been really kind of shaken with the coming of AI. As simple as the example, today, I think most of us, we can only remember our own phone numbers and maybe not more than 5. So my argument, or maybe my thinking, is that it's really affecting human memory, the power to be a reservoir, this ability to be a reservoir. So that's something I really think that it's really affecting. And my question is, then how do we define creativity or innovation today? Because given the fact that some have already mentioned how people are actually using ChatGPT for a poem or even for academic. And so there are many other things that is in line in the pipeline, but my focus is on ChatGPT now because it has become such a storm for all of us, be it in academia or in creative field. So how do you define creativity and innovation? Do you still think that creativity is something that comes out of nothingness, of an empty slate, or creativity by now can also be defined in a way where you take something that is already there. So for example, you take a cue or you take a hint from ChatGPT and then produce it. Can that be called a creativity? So I'm just thinking that what this memory, the idea of memory, the potentiality of human mind to be a reservoir, and this idea of creativity is really something that is in a shake. So what do you think about that? Mostly towards creativity. How do you define creativity? That's my question.
Yeah, it's tough. I may not be the expert in defining what creativity is. I'll just go back maybe 20 years where we did not have videos, no phones, where we used to read the storybooks, and our imagination used to run wild, and we used to thoroughly enjoy every words. Words are so powerful. So when we read a story, we picture it in our mind. And then came videos, spoiled everything. So if we see the Narnia movie before we read the story, the whole fun is spoiled. So now it's even more. Yeah. So as you rightly said, it's becoming tough to stay creative with really original ideas, because so much data, so much is being pumped into us. So yeah, I think we have to be very watchful and very careful in how much content we absorb. And yeah, the less content we absorb, the better it is, I think. And it's hard to define creativity. We are now putting bits and pieces of everything together. Some things that we have seen, some things that are coming from deep within our mind. Some things are original, sandwiched together. That's how it is currently, I think. It's going to be crazy in the future, so we better go slow, I think. I don't have any better advice.
Thank you so much for the answer. Yes.
Yeah.
I think we can take the last question that Saj has put on the chat.
Okay. That's on cardonforchrist.in. You can go to cardonforchrist.in. Yeah. Right. Okay. If you have further questions, you can always email me. We can discuss it. I don't have all the answers. I'm also like you. But just going a little ahead, maybe playing with the model, so I understand a little bit better. So some of you might also play with models, so you might get a better insight. So we try to help others, and yeah, we are in it together. So the more we discuss, yeah, we might learn how to handle all this. So yeah, this is a good start. Yeah. So this is the third talk on AI this month I'm presenting. So it's very good that we all keep talking about it. And yeah, God is in control. So we trust him, and we've handled life so far. So we will handle life in the future as well. So we trust it. Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor, for this evening, for the extensive discussion that you have carried out with us on this platform. It's 8:32. We are right on time. Thank you for the timely sharing as well, and for answering all the questions that were put forward. Would you have any other closing remarks before we close with a prayer?
Oh, I think I just gave the closing remarks. Okay, so yeah, so God is in control, and let's not rush into this AI thing. Let's absorb things slowly and in a controlled manner. I myself not trying to explore everything that there is, but I'm keeping things limited and prayerfully talking with God all the time. And yeah, we move slowly, even if we lose out on many things, but we go ahead in a controlled manner with God guiding us. And I think that's important. And taking people along with us. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for this evening. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude from Tracy. And we are so happy to have so many of us this evening as well. I would like to,
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Isaac brother, for this invitation. And yeah, thank you so much.
Would Isaac Bhaiya have anything he would like to share?
Yeah, once again, on behalf of Tracy, we appreciate Dr. Philemon Daniel for leading this discussion. And we would also be happy to inform you that Tracy is involved in transformative engagements by way of integrating our faith with various issues around us. So we take up and address and engage different issues. Once again, we thank each one of you for joining this evening webinar, and especially Dr. Philemon Daniel. Okay. Thank you, Juliana.
Thank you so much, both Dr. Philemon as well as Isaac Bhaiya. It is appropriate that we close with a closing prayer, and so we will have Vinci lead us in the closing prayer.
Thank you, Juliana. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Reinforcing the statement that our God is in our control, that our God is in control, let us seek our Lord in prayer. Oh God, our Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this time that you've given us to come and understand the mammoth of technology that we are faced with, that is artificial intelligence. Lord, we thank you for Tracy as an organization that has been able to help us understand and ask questions to learn more about what's happening around in faith and in belief in thy kingdom, Lord. Lord, we thank you for Daniel, sir, who spoke to us about the potentials, the challenges, and the consequences and implications of artificial intelligence. We thank you for the knowledge with which you've blessed him. We thank you for the organizers at Tracy. We thank you for Thomas, sir. We thank you for Juliana and all the participants who have asked such good questions and helped us led us into answers that are insightful. Lord, you are our Father, and like children who run to their parents for answers with curiosity, every time we come across something new, we come to thee, Lord, for understanding, wisdom, and knowledge to utilize the instrument and potential of artificial intelligence, not to fulfill our own fancies as the people building the Tower of Babel did, but rather to fulfill the purpose of thy kingdom in our midst. Lord, as artificial intelligence pervades and grows over all our different works, professions, and personal life, help us to be led by thy Holy Spirit to navigate the new paths with the fruits of thy Spirit, with love, joy, and peace, and hence never lose faith in ourselves as your children, whom you made with your creative intelligence in your image. And knowing that we are the only ones who can worship you in spirit and truth. Hence, how can artificial intelligence replace us? Lord, knowing all this, we submit ourselves into thy presence and in thy will. In Jesus' sweet name we pray. Amen.